Good morning, everybody. Just wait a second. I'm having heart palpitations right now because I'm so nervous. I don't know why. I guess I'm just used to always trading, the people that are closest to me, my team. So I want to make sure that I can see your comments. Hi, Jody. I like to be able to read the comments and try to comment back. Live is, I like it, but I tend to talk too long. So, hey, good morning, Connecticut. I'm actually headed to Connecticut the last week of this month to do a party from a best friend of mine from college. She was in my wedding. And hey, Jamie. So there's a friendly face. Jamie's been on my team for 5 years. So I'm setting my timer, you guys, because listen, do you have small kids? Who wants to sit around and listen to me talk for a half hour about hostess coaching? All right. She is in Stamford, so pretty big area, closer to, she's from Rochester, New York. All right, so some confessions, everybody. We had Experience Live, or Norwex Live in Buffalo last night, which is about an hour and a half from me. I got back super late and had to organize. Are you, Jamie? We should carpool. I had to organize my binder because I would have been mortified for you to see what it looked like last night. So all the confessions up front. I went to bed at 2 a.m. I have a large cup of coffee. I got my 3 girls out the door without a lot of yelling. So that was good. Off to school. And I am really excited to bring to you some tips on how to, I say simplify, but maybe you have a really simple hostess coaching system in place. But listen, I started this system in January and it has been really phenomenal for me. And you might be very familiar with it and you might do this system, and it's the binder system, but I'm going to tell you exactly what I do and share with you how I stay on top of things. So I'm giving myself like 12 minutes here. Okay. All right. So I have some new people who have joined me personally. It's made me really reflective of myself as a leader because I want to make sure that they have all the tools that they need to be successful. On that note, I've gotten some feedback from some of the people that I have put into the group that maybe they're a little bit overwhelmed with all of the information. And so I would say always pull yourself back. Take a deep breath and think about what is the most important thing for you to focus on with your business so that you keep moving forward. Good morning, Laura. This was a quote that was shared at our Norwex Live last night, and I just thought everybody needs to hear this. Okay, deep breaths, Maria. Hostess coaching is huge, though, I will tell you that, right? I don't know where my party bag is. You guys, my word for 2000, what year is it? 19 is simplify. It's to simplify. I wanted to simplify everything. I was trying to do too much, too many incentives, too many booking things. I needed to simplify. I wasn't feeling the joy anymore. Okay. So my name's Amanda Chitester. I've been a consultant with Norwex for it'll be 7 years coming up. And I look back at the roots of my business and why I was so successful as I was getting going. And it was really that I had simple systems. I was working full time. I had a 2-year-old and I was able to do 10 parties a month or 8 parties a month or however many I was doing in the beginning, 6 to 10, I would say on average. And I was able to keep up with it. And the reason was I kept things really simple. So I went back to some roots and I just want to share with you some of the things that I do for hostess coaching. Get on task, Amanda. Number 1 tip that I can offer you, and I pulled some leaders on my team. The number 1 tip is that you actually do it. You do some form of hostess coaching. And that quote that I want to share with you from last night is, don't let what you can't do stop you from doing what you can do. And this is something that holds me back a lot in my business, because when I show you some of the graphics and that kind of stuff, I'll post some of the things that I use in the group. It's almost embarrassing compared to Kristen, who posted yesterday, because I have so little skill. But you know what? With Photify and WordSwag, I'm doing what I can do. So this is my system. I use the binder system. If you're familiar with Lori Jones, she has a great training group on the binder system and how to organize or keep your parties organized so that you stay on top of them little pieces at a time, and it makes it feel simple to me. However, Friday's my catch-up day, and so it's not looking so simple today. All right, so my notes are: do some Hostess coaching. And what is Hostess coaching? It's just building the relationship with your host, right? So whatever that looks like for you, for me, this year, all year, it includes a phone call to every host, and I let them know that, hey, I don't say this, I say it in text message, I like to have a conversation with each of my hosts, so let's schedule a call. Do some form of Hostess coaching, some little steps, and I'm going to teach you my system. I start at the party, and I walk them through a host packet that I give them. This was something I had to simplify, everybody. I had to make sure that my host packet was simple enough that I could have 50 of them made up and ready to go, because I do book a lot of parties. If you are somebody who does 2 or 3 parties a month, you don't need that many host packets. But if you're somebody who does 10 in a month, I like to have a lot made up. But that would be one tip, to make up some host packets. I made, so what's in my host packet? I go through this with my host right at the party. I pulled out a lot of stuff that I used to put in here, and I keep it really simple. What I have is just a thank you note from me. It's handwritten. I write them in bulk, or I have an assistant or somebody help me write them in bulk. But just write a few little notes to your hosts and put them in your host packet. It says, thank you for having a party with me and impacting others. Your friends and family will thank you. Takes the pressure off of them feeling like they're having people over to buy stuff. We'll begin planning about 3 to 4 weeks prior. What you can do now is make 2 lists, guests and a wish list. That's it. Little note from me. I have a little invitation in here to our team's Sunday opportunity event. And this is just something I'm going to talk about then when I have a call with them. Business card. I made this on WordSwag. Again, it's one of those not so fancy things that I am embarrassed to put out there, but it's just some tips to make it great. And I'm going to read them to you, and I keep it simple. Host tips to make it great. Make a list of 30 to 40 people. They might be panicky about that, but I let them know only about a third will come, and I'm going to coach them through how to do that. Personally text or call each one. Follow up 1 week before. Follow up 1 day before. Keep track of those coming, so I have a guest count, and I'll have a gift for anyone who brings a friend. What we don't want to do is make our hosts feel like they have another job and that it's going to be really hard for them to host a party. So I want them to just recognize that it's kind of like a birthday party, and all they have to do is get the inviting out there. And I'm going to give them some coaching and tips along the way. So I hand them this at the party that they book at. So take 3 to 5 host packets to your party. I include a copy of our host rewards for them. I include 5 order forms because I hope that they'll fill them all. Kristen, yours was really fancy and nice. I loved it. I was like, that's so cool. But for me, that's not simple. So I stuff 5 order forms in a pouch, and I give them 2 catalogs. That's my host packet. Really simple, nothing fancy. For me, it works. I don't put an opportunity brochure in there. I used to put a top 10 guide in there, but I would show up at my host's house and they had not even touched any of that stuff. So I just figured, why not simplify and take it out? I want them to have a personalized note from me that says thank you. I have the host reward page marked up. I do try to mark it up even more than what I have done for you guys right now. You know, I've got a little bit at the top. It just says earn all 5 ways plus bonuses from me. So I do offer a couple of bonuses, and one is to have 10 guests at their party. And then I just mark it up. I normally have these columns totaled, but I was behind. I'm slacking, and I didn't feel like I could add properly at 2 in the morning. So I also include some postcards. Okay, you can use the ones from Norwex, stick 15 in there. Years ago, I had postcards made for me, and it's time to update them. I mean, look, the yellow cloth is still on the front. But I had thousands of them printed, so I'm just using what I have. And I encourage my hosts that if they're not going to mail out an invite, totally fine, hand them to people. So that's what I hand a host at her party. I keep it simple, and I say, you don't even have to open this for a couple of days. I'm going to walk you through the whole thing. Take it, go home. I also offer her a set of sample cloths that I make. So yeah, it is a little bit personalized. And if you are somebody who is doing a lot of parties, and you can get a 16-year-old to help you put some stars and write some words on that host thing. But I learned that from Laura Priest. She was like, hey, you need to make this thing look way better than it does. Everybody needs to know what the value of each of those columns are and how much they can really earn on this host reward sheet. So that is what I hand a host at her party. And then the hostess coaching begins for me immediately the next day. I text that new booking a thank you immediately for booking with a little personalized message from me that just says thank you so much for booking on such and such a date, and I'll do some screenshots for you, and a little picture with my phone number on it that says please text me back. I write that so that I know they have the right number, because I have texted the wrong people before and they say I'm not interested, thank you, and they're usually kind of grumpy about it. But I text them a thank you immediately following their booking the next day. I also text them immediately following their booking a save the date and an invite that they can get out. So I pulled that from a Chris Carlson podcast. I used to kind of go back and forth with, should I get it to them immediately or should I wait till it's like 3 to 4 weeks? But I have, for quite a while now, been doing the immediate invite, text invite, and the immediate save the date out to my host, because excitement is key here. All right. So these are just some little small steps for you to take. I would say step 1, to recap, do some hostess coaching. Step 2, start it at the party, walk your host through her host packet just a little bit and make sure you have a good host packet put together. Step 3, the day following, thank you for booking with the date. And step 4, get those save the date and invites and reminder texts sent immediately, like the following day, almost a non-negotiable for me, because that way we're in communication right from the get-go. And then my binder system starts, okay? So I'm gonna take you off of my tripod here, and I'll do a little camera turnaround. And as we get closer to the party, I start kind of a systematic host coaching. You can certainly, and I'm sure a lot of you already have this set up a host coaching system in Project Broadcast. But I currently still do it all manually. I know it's probably crazy for a lot of you. And but I like to be hands-on with my host coaching, because it starts with a phone call for me, and I use the binder system to make it really super simple for me, so I'm not feeling like I'm all over the place. And so thanks, Lori Jones, for putting yourself out there, teaching the system, getting so many people educated about it. And thanks, Monica Kinton, for saying, hey, have you heard about the binder system? And for me saying, you know what? You do, Kristen. I think a lot of people do. A lot of the leaders on my team do too. And I personally think it's huge to do host coaching. I don't want it to seem scripted at all. Yes. So I had heard of the binder system, and I have to be honest with you. I was like, ooh, one more thing. But if I had known about this 7 years ago, my life would be would have been so good. And there's my timer. So I'm going to get going here. Okay, so I'm going to turn this around, and I think this could be life and business changing for you. So here is what my binder looks like, and your binder doesn't have to be huge, but I would encourage you to, yes, personal is huge for Hostess coaching, to get a binder or get a hanging file folder. This is actually called a, yep, me too. I do have templates for it too, and I basically say the same thing, Kristen, a lot, but I like to personalize it as well, and I just keep with my system. So I'm going to go to today's, all right, I got to explain the binder system to you, and I'm going to do it super easy. The numbers down the side represent the date of the month. So today is the 10th, and I'm super flexible with my binder system. If I'm off a day or so and I didn't get some stuff done the other day, I move it a day before or behind, and I don't criticize myself so that I shut down and stop doing the work. So this is my friend Katie, who's in Connecticut, and we just confirmed her date the other day, and it will be 5:30. And here is what my host form looks like. So for her, it's going to be unique because she's never been to a party. Let's actually go to this one over here. So Elka booked a party at a wellness event that I did. And once I've gotten all of the, she has her host packet. I've done her thank you for booking text, and I did send her a postcard, even though it's not checked on here a long time ago, to confirm her date. But these are the things that I do before I actually put this sheet in the binder, and that's all of the pre binder stuff, like that day immediately following the party. I actually get this stuff out to them faster, so I usually check it off the day after the party. But how the binder system works is you put your date for the party up here, and the dates of the tasks you need to do, you're just counting backwards on the calendar from your party date. So I went 3 weeks back to the 1st, 2 weeks back to the 10th, 1 week back to the 15th, 2 days before, and then here's her party date. So I was off a little bit here. I think should have been like yesterday that I should have done some of these things. And for me, Kyle, this works beautifully, and I will share this form with you. It's in Word. Monica Kinton started this form. It was created by Lori Jones originally, and then Monica had her own, and then I have my own, and I have another friend's as well. So it's all the tasks that I need to do, but guess what? It's just small chunks, right? So it's what do I need to do for this person on the 1st? And I can sit down and I can knock out my binder work in a really quick fashion. So 3 weeks before the party, I checked to see if she had a Facebook event. I don't typically set it up for them, but if they want to add me, they can. I'll include a catalog link and a link to order. I make sure that they have their textable invite. They have a textable reminder. Have they sent out any postcard invites? Do they want me to send them some printed labels for the backs of their postcards so they don't have to fill them in? Hi, Elaine. Right? So I make these, I have this template on my system, and this is the last host that said to me that she wanted labels because she was inviting all 30 people with postcards. So I printed these out and mailed them to her, and I do that, as much in advance as I can. So here's my 3 weeks prior to the party tasks. I'm done with those. I'm a little bit behind because I should have done this stuff on yesterday, I believe, but I put the 10th because I knew I had Norwex Live last night and I was going to be pretty busy with that. So I will check in with her today to see, hey, you got your invites out. I will make sure that she has a copy of the host rewards. I have mailed them to her as well. I challenge them to take the samples that I gave and go do a butter demo for some people. I make sure she has the party link and the catalog link so that she can just quickly and easily forward it on to people. At the 1 week prior mark, I say it's a good point to check in with her guests. She's got that text reminder. I offer to total up any orders for her. I have a chicken demo video I send her, and I send the new Safe Haven 5 video because I had people who had never attended a party hosting saying, I've got people asking, you know, for more information, what can I give them? So I added that in there. 2 days before the party, I make sure that she's sent her reminder out and she's encouraged people to bring a friend. I ask her if she's got questions about the host rewards. And I then at that point say, hey, have you, you know what, Kristen, do it now. Because this, I did not used to be this organized. I used to have like this list. I'll show you what I used to do. This seems super organized. I was committed to it at the beginning of the year and I thought I just need to do it. What I used to do, what did I do? Oh, right here. I used to use this, right? Which never worked for me. It did. I did the job, but I had no system. So I would get behind and I wouldn't have it on my calendar. So when I walk into my office, I can see, and my binder is not always this neat. Like I told you, I organize it in the middle of the night. I can flip to the 10th and I know who I have to get in touch with today. I know, and it keeps it really streamlined and focused for me. So once I've done my tasks for this host, I then move. This looks terrible. Oh, this is a party I already did. Once I do the tasks for Elka today, I'm going to move this page in my binder to the 15th. Okay, so I actually physically take it out and remove it and stick it under the 15th. And it's an ongoing changing system. It's called a tickler system. It's not original to me, Norwex, or anybody. You can actually watch it online. It's used heavily in law offices so that, and you can actually organize your whole life with a system like this. For me, it has been literally life-changing. And for the people on my team who work full-time and do this, I encouraged them to check out the Big Fat Binder that actually has a handle on it. So it's like an office in a bag. This is important stuff to take with you. It's what you need to do for the day. So if you have 30 minutes on a lunch and you work full-time, you can open up to one date and boom, it's done. Or if you wanted to take the pages out and stick them in a little folder to go, you could do that too. So here's how I treat Friday is my catch-up day, first thing in the morning. If I'm behind at all, how many months of binder do you have? A full year or just a few months? All right, so here's how it works. Elaine, good question. All of the days represent the dates of the month. But at the back, after those dates, I have my parties that are in the future. So I have parties that are happening in June or July that I have the dates set on, and I know that when June hits, I'm gonna have to feed these to those numbered dates, right? Isn't it cool? So I was very overwhelmed by the thought of starting this system at first, but I have been training my team on it since January, and I can't even begin to tell you how much incredible feedback I have gotten. So once I'm done with a party, all right, real life here, they go over there. And what is actually going to happen with them is they will go into a binder for the year. So I have a leader on my team who does the same thing. She doesn't use the plastic sleeves. She prints on cardstock, and she prefers that. She doesn't feel like she needs the sleeves. That way she's not pulling the paper off to write on it. When Lori Jones in her group taught the system, she used a vis-a-vis wet erase marker, but I'm telling you, it drove me batty. I would write on here, it would get erased, it would be a mess. So I just pull the sleeve out and I do the work and I tuck it back in, and it's super easy. I love these Post-it tabs at the top. Do it now. Just do it now immediately. A full year after a tax season. Yep. So I will put all of those as my 2019 parties all into a binder. Exactly. To save them, and then they'll go on a shelf. I used to do an envelope with these, or a small binder. I actually did. I'll show you. What I used to do was I had these cute small binders that I would put all of my party info in from that year, and it had all of my party stats, etc. on them. I do put my order forms in there. So yes, I am somebody who still uses order forms, and they're at the back. Ooh, look at that. That order does not go with that party. Okay, so you can see that it was in the wrong envelope. I keep them at the back like that, and then you can put your stats at the bottom, your sales, how many buying guests you had, the dollar amount of free product that your host received, because they always like to know that, how many parties you booked, and did you have any recruit leads that you needed to add to your opportunity event. I actually pull this out to go to a party with me, and I take it with me, and then when I leave at the end of the night, I put the order forms in the back. I was using something that Lori Jones had recommended for tabbing at the top, and that was these. They were little clips, but they didn't fit so well in my binder, and they were bending and falling off. So I much prefer the little sticky tabs at the top. They actually stick on there. I use a permanent marker on it, and again, I've only been doing this particular system since January, so I think I'll leave those tabs right on there when I put them into the binder. Maybe not though, and I'll alphabetize them, I would say, so if I needed to go back and find anything. It's incredibly easy to set up. You hold yourself accountable. When Monica Kinton was teaching me about it, she was like, listen, I'm getting up at 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning to make sure that my boxes are checked off. I was like, all right, tell me about the binder system. And when she did, I was like, this is incredible. So I would, if I were you, I would, let me just go back to my notes here. I hope that whole system makes sense to you. I'm happy to answer any questions about it. I will post the files of my host information sheet. I'll post another one too, and I can post Lori's original. I will post all of the graphics that I use when I'm communicating with my host. They're really simple. So I do a 3-week check-in. I do a 2-week check-in. I do a 1-week check-in. I do a 2-day check-in. And my phone call comes at the 2-week check-in. So my graphics aren't great, but I wanted to, I don't know if I can stay live and find them. They're on my phone. I don't think I can. So I have a picture that goes with each check-in, and I just keep it really simple. And then I would say, like, I just keep going back to this quote, don't let what you can't do stop you from doing what you can do. I schedule the follow-up as well. I do my follow-up 100% in Project Broadcast. For that, I don't care if it sounds scripted. I can post what I do for my follow-up. I do a 2-week, a 2-day, a 2-week, and a 2-month, or roughly 60 days. Lori Jones does have a follow-up sheet. I do use that for host follow-up. Again, I like my host follow-up to not be scripted, so I'll check in with my host. Hey, did your order arrive? Have you gone through everything? Do you have any questions about anything? So you would stick that follow-up right in the binder as well. I even take the binder system even further. All right, let me show you this real quickly. If I have anything that I need to do, like finalize my New York State Fair application, I have put things in here. I put those who are in my personal group, and they're on my dashboard as new consultants on my team. I have a checklist that I like to work with them through. And again, I'm only doing this for my personals and my personal group. I put this right in my binder as well, so that and any coaching calls that I do, it all is in the binder. So I do my leadership stuff. I don't keep two separate binders. I keep one binder. It has all new consultant onboarding stuff. I have an onboarding checklist. I use this checklist, and then anything that I have to do, I used to keep like, so up on my wall here, I would keep applications for vendor events, and they were just kind of all over. And I had somebody say, use the binder for everything. So I put it all in here so that I know, Monday what is Monday? Here. I know on Monday when I come into my office, I know exactly what I'm going to do. And it's to finalize this fair application. And then I can see too, what am I doing on Tuesday? I'm going to start my hostess coaching with Susan Ring, although we've been in contact a lot and she already has 5 outside orders. What am I doing on the 15th? I don't have anything there yet, but I have to move some stuff from today there. Same with the 16th and the 17th and the 18th and the 19th and the 20th apparently. And then I'm going to start some hostess coaching with Miranda on the 21st. So all of the stuff that I have here today is pretty heavy because I was behind from Wednesday on. I will be distributing into next week as well for like their 2-day, just depending on where they are in the system, their 2-day, etc. And you can see, like, I didn't even check the boxes for this lady. I did the work, but we already held her party. And then I'll put in there, like, if we have a date picked out to close her party, for us, it's Monday, the day after Mother's Day. I need to actually stick that in there, but I wanted to send her a message today. So this is all checklist style. You need to make it your own so that you're not leaving blanks and not doing the work, because then you'll just get frustrated and not do it. So for me, the binder system is huge. I know a lot of you are new, but if you were to sit down and prioritize what is going to make your party successful, honestly, a good host. You need a good host. You need a good relationship with your host, and you want to do some good hostess coaching, because the truth is a lot of our hosts don't necessarily know how to have a great party. They need to be taught that they should, when I say to somebody, you want to invite 30 people, they're kind of like, why? Well, because statistically only 10 are going to come if you invite 30. So you have to over invite. They don't know that. That's foreign language to them. This is our job. I mean, they're used to the whole maybe birthday party aspect where everybody comes from your family. So if I invite them, why wouldn't they come? It's not the case with this. We need to make sure that they know they need to over invite. Yeah, so what I'm doing for onboarding is what I mean, Jody. The steps that I'm taking to make sure that on the days of the week that I'm in touch with my new consultants and we're working through the specific things, checklist style, that I want to make sure that they're doing in order to have a strong start. So I have a big, huge, long list of the materials that are needed for this binder. I can post. But you don't need it. I would say what you do need is some number tabs. You need some date tabs, some month tabs of like January through December. You need these little Post-it tabs at the top. Learn from my mistake. Don't get those little clippy things. It'll drive you batty. And then I'm all about an erasable pen. I cannot do this binder to save my life without making mistakes. So I have erasable pens because I like colors, and I love to use the erasable pens because they work and they're great. If you're not familiar with erasable pens, they're called Pilot Friction, and I have lots of them in lots of different colors. I kind of like these too. They, draw my attention to an area where I need to like get my butt focused. So I hope this is helpful. Friday is my catch-up day, so I will post to you everything right now that all of the files and all of the pictures, and I think I shared everything. The other thing I do keep in the binder is I have this folder here, and it has any pages that I needed to pull out for rescheduling or people whose dates I need to nail down still. So they're sitting in there. So when I'm like sitting down and going, okay, it's booking blitz time, that's immediately where I go. I put contact info in there if I do a vendor event. If you do the 3-question close at your party on a note card, I put those in there. And that's my host coaching binder system. And then I do take the binder steps further as well, and use it for new consultant onboarding and everything. It's literally a business in a bag. When I went to Hawaii, I was like, how am I going to leave it? I can't. So I took a good chunk of it and I brought it with me so that I could do those daily tasks. And when you sit down and you think, okay, most days I only have a couple of sheets in my tasks of things to do that day. Keeps it really simple. If you wanted to set something up in Project Broadcast, I would use your Project Broadcast texts, your auto text, as conversation starters so that you can personalize it and get on the phone with them. I hope this was helpful. I hope I wasn't all over the place. The other tip that I have that I want to share really quickly is, and I learned this from a team member who is in another form of sales for career, and she just said, sales is a relationship, and you want to really get on the phone and get to know your host. Get to know why they're hosting. Get to know what's on their wish list. Spend some time on the phone with them and let them become friends with them. And once you become friends with them, they want to have a successful party for you just as bad as you want to have a successful party for them. And so developing that partnership, and I know talking is hard. Talking on the phone is hard. And customer follow-up. I do it in Project Broadcast, Jody, but I will share with you the customer follow-up sheet. And I treat that customer follow-up piece strictly for hostesses through the binder system, just following up with my hosts. All customer follow-up is done automatically through Project Broadcast. So I strongly encourage you to take a look, be open-minded about the binder system, get yourself organized fast, and reach out to me personally, and I can help you. And I can make sure to add you to the group that Lori Jones has to help people with staying organized. And I will post all the files, use them all, modify them all. They're all in Word, so I think that'll be super helpful. Okay, was way too long. Bye.